I often say that the challenges are actually our gifts in work clothes. So they're actually coming to actually activate potential that's latent, that cannot be activated without a challenge. Because sometimes people become lazy, they're like, not lethargic necessarily, but they're not really activating potential because everything seems to be going okay. But when there's a challenge, what do we have to do? We have to go in. We have to activate potential. And we end up discovering things about ourselves or activating things about ourselves that before may have just been a belief, but now it becomes active. There's a seed in the forest, some kind of pine tree, that when these seeds fall into the soil, they never germinate, except when there's a forest fire. They just stay there for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. But a forest fire is the only thing that's hot enough to make the seed open, and then it becomes the new trees for the next iteration of that forest. And I think there's qualities within us that are there, but the challenge becomes like a fire that breaks it open, and suddenly we discover things about ourselves and powers and energies that we didn't even know we had until that challenge came. So I think challenges are built in for the soul's edification. And so we're not here teaching to live a challenge-free life.
Yeah.
We're here to learn how to navigate and to transcend and transmute challenges so that we become the next great vision and version of ourselves. We're here to constantly grow. And the universe is so progressive that if we get too comfortable, we get kicked in the butt a little bit.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You're not activating your potential. It could be a symptom. It could be a financial thing. It could be a relationship thing. But the universe is always expanding and moving us forward.
Yeah, it's like what you mentioned last time about people transforming either through insight or crisis.
Yeah.
And I think we oscillate between both, most of us throughout our life. And those challenges that arise in our life, whether they be relationship dynamics, financial struggles, something inner with our mind or body or emotion, right? When perceived as opportunities for growth, what you resist persists in that saying, right? So like when you accept it as a challenge, when you accept it as an opportunity for growth, then like when you go to the gym and you work out, you understand the challenge, you choose it, right?
Right.
And I feel like when you choose it, our relationship completely changes and it allows us to have synergy with it instead of it's me versus life. I feel like so much of our time here often is like in this subtle but pervasive energy of the way my life is right now is not how it should be.
Right.
That's
great. That's good. Yeah. You use the word weights. I often like to say that imagine you're just in a big weight room. You're in density, time, gravity.
Yeah.
You're here lifting weights, and you got time and space, things that don't really exist. They're abstract mental concepts. They're not like forever, But while you're in time and space, this is a weight room, and it's actually a canvas by which you get to paint with the colors of your soul. And so you're here lifting weights. Sometimes you have to lift weights around love and forgiveness. Sometimes you have to lift weights around contribution and generosity, or whatever quality that seems to be lacking. You actually have to go in and lift that weight. You have to actually perceive it. You have to actually shift your perception. You have to actually change your conversation around it. And until that weight becomes easy, it's like, oh yeah. So I think that's a great analogy.